And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Akita Vanderpoy. I am the Executive Director of Leading Age DC, a trusted voice for our aging services providers in the district. And I am so pleased to be here today with representatives from Legal Counsel for the Elderly, who are going to share with us information about the fantastic elderly senior kits that they have developed. And without further ado, I will turn it over to Ms. Zamora Brazil and Ms. Lisa Brown to introduce themselves and share the work that they are doing with us. So good morning, welcome, and thank you both for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. I'm Lisa Brown, and I am a staff attorney with Legal Counsel for the Elderly. I work in one of our projects, which I'm going to talk to you a little more about, which is called Project Help, representing homebound seniors. And I'm here with Samora Basil. She's going to go over quite a bit of information, but she's our attorney who works in the project that we call SHOW, which is a self-help office. She's a very busy attorney and is doing a lot of things, and she's going to talk about both what she does and some other benefits that we cover. Today, we are going to be giving an overview of what Legal Counsel for the Elderly does. And in addition, we're going to cover our senior kits, but we're going to just generally talk about some of the things that Legal Counsel for the Elderly does from a legal perspective. Not much detail. This is because we're covering a lot of ground here, so it's going to be an overview of both what we do and the senior kits as well. Legal Counsel for the Elderly champions the dignity and rights of Washington, D.C. elders by providing free legal and social work services to those in need. In doing so, we hope to empower and defend and protect vulnerable seniors. This is our 50th year anniversary, and we have been championing the dignity and rights of DC elders by providing those free legal and social work services to those in need. Specifically, our work addresses the most important aspects of an older adult's life, including housing, economic security, and advocacy, self-determination, health, and safety. So we're going to be talking about these particular areas as we go through the presentation. In addition, as I mentioned, in addition to those legal areas, we also provide social work services. Okay, both Samora and I are part of one of the projects of LCE, or Legal Counsel for the Elderly, and it's called the Economic and Healthcare Security Practice. The Economic and Healthcare Security Practice specifically focuses on helping seniors with income, benefits, and services to which they are entitled to so that they can live independently in the community. Under EHS, there are several projects, and those include, as I mentioned, the one that I work on, Homebound Elderly Legal Project, or Project Help, our Veterans Advocacy Project, Public Benefits, Probate and Estate Planning, and Self-Help Office, or SHOW. Okay, I'm going to provide some information about Project Help to start. And with this area, we work with people who are homebound. They're either living in their own homes, or they're in a assisted living facility, nursing home, or they may be at the hospital at the time that we provide services to them. And specifically, the services that we provide include estate planning, guardianship, and public benefits. With regards to estate planning or life planning, documents that we provide, they include durable financial powers of attorney, durable healthcare powers of attorney, last will and testament, advance medical directives, and transfer on death deeds. And I'm not going to go into detail about those documents, but this graph just shows that there's a number of different ways people can get assistance. And those different documents or, these avenues that they can use to get assistance are either, less restrictive, or they can, or more restrictive, right? And so just so that you can, I'm just going to briefly describe on the less restrictive side, there is a document called supported decision making, where an individual continues to have the ability to make their own decisions, but they get support. The individual, though an adult, can have someone come to doctor's appointments with them, can just serve as an advisor to them. Moving to the right of this graph, there is powers of attorney and advance directives. And these documents allow somebody to appoint an agent who can help them either with regards to a financial power of attorney. They could help them immediately if they choose, or only if they become incapacitated. With the healthcare power of attorney, it's restricted to if the individual is unable to make health decisions for themselves. They'll pick an agent who can make those healthcare decisions for them. Advance directives allow people to state what they want to happen if they're at the end of life. And so you can see we go all the way to guardianships and conservatorships. So you all are probably familiar with those, but those are processes where the court determines who is going to make decisions for the individual. At this stage, all the way to the right, most restrictive, the individual isn't making decisions for themselves. And the person who's appointed guardian or conservator now is responsible for making decisions for them. One of our other areas under EHS is the probate and estate planning practice. Probate, we also call this PEP. What we do in this area is assist individuals with probate administration and their estate planning needs as well. Probate is the legal process that takes place after someone passes away. And what the attorneys who are part of the PEP team do is to help people go through that probate process, which includes starting a petition and all the way through until the probate is concluded. In addition to helping with the probate, the PEP team also tries to make it so that the individual who has to go through probate is in a position where they may not need, they may not need to go through probate, or whoever it is who would be representing them might not need to go through probate, especially with regards to home ownership. So one of the estate planning documents, as I mentioned before, that we provide is a transfer on death deed. A transfer on death deed allows property to be passed from the decedent to their beneficiary without the need for probate. And so it's a very powerful tool. It is something that is not in every state, but it is in DC. And so people can use that for purposes of passing on a home or land, real property. Okay. So specifically with regards to the probate process, PEP helps individuals by filing a will if one exists, filing the petition, identifying and collecting the decedent's assets, making sure that the property is distributed according to um, state law or the will, and then closing out the estate. There are two types of probate. One is small estates and the other is large estates. Large estates are going to include those where there is any real property involved and any other assets that that the decedent had, if they have real property. And then for small estates, it's if the assets are less than $40,000 or less and there is no real property involved. Okay, and now I want to introduce again Samora Brazil. She's going to start talking about public benefits, and she'll then talk about a few other matters as well.
So like Lisa mentioned, our practice area covers a lot of different things, and public benefits is some of the big ones. And so our senior kits cover a lot of the probate and estate planning topics, but they also cover a lot of these public benefits topics and how people can go through the process and receive public benefits. So, and see if I can make sure these lines work for me. There we go. So for public benefits, the things that we are looking at and the things that we assist with are things like Medicaid, which many of you already know. We also assist with those who are eligible for Part A and Part B of Medicare and assisting them in receiving QMB to help pay for some of those premiums if that's something that people need assistance with. And then we also assist people with the Elderly Persons with Disabilities waiver. Many of you guys already know about many of these services and how they're offered. And if you don't, we can always talk about them, but we assist people with these processes, especially if they aren't receiving them and they are supposed to be. A lot of hours have been changed lately, and so we assist people with making sure that they do have the EPD waiver, that they are able to receive the long-term care services. At home that they're supposed to receive. And if that means assisting them in filing documents so that their hours can be checked again, to make sure that they are receiving the nursing care services, or that if they are using something like Services My Way, that people are getting paid as they're supposed to, we'll assist them with that as well. We assist with food stamps and we try to stay up to date with everything that is happening with these programs and making sure that people are receiving the food stamps that they're supposed to be receiving. We also assist with utility assistance, whether that be something as usually very simple as LAHEAP or other programs. And then we try to help people figure out what programs in the DC area they are able to apply for. So some of them are ward specific, some of them are tied to specific organizations, and we try to attach people to whichever programs because we know how important it is to have those utility services, especially for many of our seniors that use breathing machines or other electronics to be able to live comfortably. And then we also assist with the interim disability assistance, which offers financial support to those who are applying for SSI. It helps them as they're making that SSI decision. So it gives them funds for that time period. And then some of the other public benefits that we help with are SSI, SSDI, and then retirement. So if there are any issues that occur, overpayments, underpayments, things like that, we can help people with those. If people have been denied SSDI who should have been approved, we can go back and help them figure out what exactly happened, appeal decisions and such. And then we also help with Social Security spousal benefits, widow and divorced spouse benefits. So depending on how long someone was married, if they are divorced, if they haven't been remarried, and then widow's benefits if they are able to collect. Because we do have a lot of our seniors who devoted their lives to their spouses and may be able to collect on their spouse's social security record. And then again, we help with overpayments and underpayments if that is an issue that someone is experiencing. And then this kind of says again what I've said about what types of cases that we cover. We have a specific project area called our Veterans Advocacy Project, that for short. And they help with service-connected disability claims. And they help with non-service connected pension, VA benefits and medical debts, any overpayment claims, surviving spouse claims, and death pension benefits. One of the things that happens within our office that we're very lucky and happy to do is that when clients are referred to us, we will go through kind of the litany of things to see what benefits clients might be eligible to receive. And so if we figure out that they are a veteran, we'll go through and see if there are veterans benefits, because sometimes veterans benefits can help with dental work, can sometimes help with vision issues and things like that. And so we will help seniors figure out what accumulation of benefits will best serve them, and things that they're qualified for. So these are some of the things that we do with our Veterans Advocacy Project. So the service-connected disability compensation is paid to those veterans who have a illness or injury that was incurred or aggravated while they were serving on active duty. And this is often changing. So as especially some of our seniors get older, they'll say, oh, like this wasn't considered an illness or injury that was aggravated during active duty 10, 15 years ago, and it is now. So that's something that we're always kind of like going back over and looking through. And then non-service connected pension is a benefit paid to wartime veterans with limited income, who had sufficient length of service and are 65 or older and have a permanent and total non-service connected disability. And so this one's a little bit different, but we're also able to help seniors determine if this is something that they qualify for. Then we have our survivor's dependency and indemnity compensation, and this is paid to the surviving spouse, child, or parent of a service member who died during the line of duty, and then, or a survivor of veteran who died from a service-related injury or illness. And then we also have our survivor's pension, and that's a tax-free benefit payable to low-income unmarried surviving spouses of a deceased veteran with wartime service. And we will be sending you all of these slides. And so if it's something you want to go back over later and have questions for later, we can always discuss that. And then the additional services that our veterans team does is, again, overpayments or dealing with medical debts and VA benefits. And then we also help with applications for VA burial benefits. A lot of our seniors are really thinking about the end of their life and just making sure that everything is taken care of for their family members. And that's something we can assist with as well. Then my office is the self-help office. It's designed to help seniors advocate for themselves. So the way that I tend to think about my office is that I am helping seniors do many of the things that many of us already do. We look things up online, we figure out the answers, and some of it is legal adjacent, others of it isn't. But I help seniors do things like those transfer on death deeds. I help them do small estate probate. If there is a civil claim for small claims, anything under $10,000, I help them with that. If they're having issues with private businesses, I help them discuss those things. I'll also refer them to social service agencies, kind of to many of your agencies, if I feel that they need services that our office doesn't provide or that you guys may provide better. We'll often refer them, and then I'll also help with things like vital records requests. Really a lot of very different things, and this is just a small listing of the things that I often help with, but this is what our self-help office is here for. It's to kind of get people started on where to go, because often our seniors aren't necessarily online and only have access to a phone service, and a lot of things have been less on the phone, or people don't have that information and they're like, oh, just go online, the information's there, and our seniors don't necessarily feel comfortable doing that. And so I help them to navigate through those processes. I am usually located at 6 places throughout the city, depending on the day of the week, 2 places on Thursdays. Not this Thursday because I'm giving this presentation, but generally this is where I'll be, and I usually meet with somewhere between 3 to 4 clients a day, going through these processes during these times. Our goal is also to be where seniors are at. It's when bad things or illegal things are happening, the worst thing is to have to also navigate going to a new place that you've never been, when you've generally, for the last however many years, been confined to your community, and you've made a community within a few within your specific ward of DC. And so our goal is that seniors wouldn't have to leave too far from home to receive services, and can be in somewhere that they're just a lot more comfortable in. So, to talk about our senior kits, I'll have Lisa talk a little bit about our senior kits and kind of what those are like.
Okay. So as many of you know, EHS has compiled I think five senior kits to be used by the community and professionals, summarizing information that is needed regarding veterans benefits, DC public benefits, medical benefits, probate, and Social Security. And so there are 5 different kits or sets of information which you can have access to by going to the website that's on the screen there. That's one way. The QR code, you can, if you want to take out your phone and utilize this QR code, you'll have immediate access to each of the 5 kits as well. And then thirdly, we have the kits in hard copy, and I'm going to just show you one of them, what they look like. I don't know how well you can see this because I hadn't planned to show it, but I just want you to know that this is one kit, and so there are 5 different ones. This happens to be the Social Security senior kit. The great thing about them is that they provide easy to follow information on things such as eligibility requirements. You know, a lot of times when people are applying for benefits, it's complex, right? And they don't feel like they don't know what to do. And I think just having this as a resource where they feel like at least I have a summary, I have a guide to help me when it comes to veterans benefits, for instance. Do I qualify for this, or do I not qualify because of this issue? It's sort of laid out there. They also talk about how to apply specifically, whether you can, do it on the phone. Do you need to call and get a hard copy of application? Often you can do them online, but there are alternatives to that. And there are also helpful tips for navigating the processes that are part of each of these kits. Individuals can find step-by-step instructions on how to apply for things like SNAP or the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LAHEAP, QMB, Medicaid, the EPD waiver, as well as how to handle probate and Social Security and VA benefits. And so it's not to say that individuals won't need additional assistance, but I know for me, if I have something that's very handy that makes me feel empowered, that I can at least start the process. I know a little bit more about the benefit that I knew on my own. I think it's going to be a powerful resource for individuals. So we do provide some hard copies, but for specifically for people who might not have access to the kits online. So we're happy to provide some hard copies, but for professionals and individuals who can get access using the QR code or going to the website, we recommend that you do that and sort of familiarize yourself with it. We do give very specific presentations going over the information in the kits as well. So if that's something that you want, even either a in-person or a virtual presentation about something specific, we can do that as well. But that is really the overview of the 5 different kits, along with what LCE does, and we are happy to take any questions that you might have at this time.
Hi, I'm Laura Fenvis. I'm with Seabury Care Management. I answer our information line, so I never know what kind of question I'm going to be getting. But I'm curious about how, for the self-help offices, how do people, I'm assuming you have to register when you're at the different sites, and how would they do that? And then for those programs that weren't covered by self-help, how would somebody get an appointment there?
So it really is mostly the same way. Let me see if there we go, is going through our hotline. So
Okay.
when people call, our hotline is open from 9:30 to 4:30. It can sometimes be, depending on the day, a little bit busy and hard to get through to our hotline. So we generally ask that people, for one, call first thing in the morning and then calls to repeatedly give it a try, because generally our goal or our hotline's goal is that each person that calls, if we have taken down their information, they will be speaking to an attorney within 2 business days.
Okay.
We have tried the process of like taking people's information down and saying we'll call them back, and then we'd be like 6 months away late, and it just didn't work. So within 2 days, they'll hopefully be speaking to an attorney
Okay.
about whatever their issue is. And then if it's something that my office, the self-help office, deals with, then they'll be set up with an appointment with me. If they are homebound, they'll be set up with Lisa, depending on what the issue is. And so it generally goes through that process. And so they'll go through the entire case. Generally, they'll meet with an attorney on our hotline team to see if any of that information can be done without needing to meet with somebody in person. If they do need somebody in person, then they'll get set up with anyone either on our team or with our housing team, our consumer team, whoever it may be that would best be able to suit them.
Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you.
No problem. And we didn't mention this earlier. We also work with our long-term care ombudsman here in DC. They're located within our office. They also have an attorney that helps with the EPD waiver program. And then we have our like senior Medicare patrol that also helps seniors advocate for their kind of Medicare rights. So our office is big and a little bit tangled. We're located on E Street. We are affiliated with AARP. And so that's often how clients will find us, is they will call AARP for something, and they'll be like, they don't generally provide specific legal services to individuals. And so then they will send them to us if they are a DC resident.
Okay. What about eviction help? Sometimes I get those calls.
So
Yeah.
we assist with eviction. We have our housing team. They assist with evictions. And then we also have a team that helps with foreclosures.
Okay.
So depending on kind of what it is that the seniors are dealing with. And often it will, for some seniors, it may end up being like a foreclosure probate matter. There's an old loan on a property. And so the person that's now living there isn't on the deed, and we're trying to figure out all of those things. So we also assist with things like that.
Okay, great.
Or they might be a code violation, so the tenant might be experiencing some issue with the landlord or tenant. Group helps with those things as well. They also have social workers who help people who are dealing with mental issues as well.
Okay. Great.
Thank you both so much. You mentioned that you have some social workers working there. I know that many of our providers also have social workers on staff. And so is this a tool for really like social workers and providers to be able to support the elders in our community? Would you also, I guess I'm wondering, who is the end user? Are these also for residents who are older adults to sort of look through, and then if they need additional assistance, they can work with their local provider or call your office?
Yeah, so it's yes, so exactly that. Um, Often I think we centered our language in these kits around not just providers, but if you are assisting your family member, they are, you know, I would say they need that assistance getting through these processes, and you have some ability but you're not too comfortable, and so it's a way to walk you through that process. It's also a way where if some of our community members are contacting us and they're like, hey, I got to this part and I'm not sure what to do, I've figured out most of it, um, having to call find an attorney to help you through this is a long process, and they'd be able to refer to this and be like, okay, cool, all of the information is here, I'm able to do this, is the next step, this is what this means, this is what they're looking for in this. And our digital copy is updated as things are happening. We're constantly updating that. Our paper one is a little bit more delayed, but our digital one is up to date. And so yeah, it's for really the community. Sometimes it may not be directly for some of our seniors if they're having some issues, because there's a lot of print on it, and we tried to do a large font size, but sometimes it's like there's just a lot of information there and can sometimes feel overwhelming when you are going through the issue, rather than when you're helping someone through the issue. So it's definitely for community members and those in the community who are working with our seniors and our older adults.
Great, thank you. And are they available in any additional languages?
So right now, only in English. Our goal is we'd like to be able to do it in Spanish, and so we have only had these for less than a year. So our goal is to be able to move into other languages soon, but we're also perfecting it and updating it as things are going. And it's been difficult to things have been changing very fast, and so even updating those and keeping up with those has been a labor of love for us. And so we will hopefully be able to do Spanish as soon as possible, and then after that develop it into other languages if we can.
Great. And then one last, I don't know, the last question, but you mentioned you have paper copies as well, and so are those available for pickup at your office? When you all have the self-help, do you also have copies available there?
So if I know that someone is coming, I can definitely bring copies. We have lots of copies. I don't carry any with me at my self-help offices, but just because it's me carrying things, and I try not to carry too much. But if I know someone is coming and would like copies, I would definitely be happy to bring copies, to meet up, to drop off copies if I'm going to be in the area. And Elaine, our social worker, is also happy to take around copies, whatever works, if that's what someone is interested in. A lot of us are constantly roving around the city, and so we can definitely arrange a drop off if anyone is interested.
Great, thanks.
Are there
So
any?
much great information. Yeah, we're curious if there are additional questions from folks.
Or comments, anything that you might want to bring up? Okay.
If any questions or anything does pop up, Lisa and I are always available by email. You can always either shoot us an email or even email Elaine, and we can get together and see kind of how we can help. Um, our goal is to share as much information as possible. So if at any point there are questions or any way that we can help, please let us know. I will drop my information in the chat, and um, Lisa can also drop hers.
Is there any way that providers or myself as an association that represents our mission-driven providers, is there any way that we can support the work that you all are doing or get involved in any way in initiatives that you may have?
Absolutely, there are always, ways to volunteer. But I think one of the things that we hope in doing this and in meeting with many of you is that you will be able to also just share about our services. One of the things that we are really proud of is our hope that we can get a lot of seniors interested in estate planning and thinking about what their future and the end of their lives look like. So those advanced directives, their powers of attorney, all of those things really do make life easier in the long run. And we want to be able to make sure that the people are receiving that assistance. And then lastly, I think one of the things that we are kind of hoping for is that our information gets out there a little bit early. I think a lot of our seniors they're very great and strong advocates for themselves, but often by the time they reach us or speak to any legal service provider, it's been a year or two down the line. And that cuts them off sometimes from some of the benefits they were able to receive or things like that. And so just making sure that they are staying in the loop with um, someone who can provide that assistance. And even if it's not us, we refer to a lot of people in the community. And so being able to even add you guys as resources for us is helpful as well. Lisa, do you want to?
And there may be some, maybe we can do some joint presentations together at some points. I'd like to talk to you more about that and what you have in mind, but certainly we love to work with other groups. So.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm very, very happy to always share resources that are available for our older adults and for providers that support them, for family caregivers. November is Family Caregiver Month, so maybe that's something I can just highlight as I share these resources again and encourage members to share them with family members. And so that sounds fantastic. I hope that we can continue to find ways to partner and to share information and empower our community members to manage legal matters in their life and access resources when they need it. And I'm so appreciative of you both for taking the time out of your day and the very, very important work that you do to share these resources with us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us, and thank everybody who was present and attentive. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and it's also one of those things, like we do general presentations, but we can get down to kind of like the nitty-gritty of some of these topics. And so if that's ever something that you want to do for the community, specific topics, Lisa is a pro in talking about those powers of attorney and those like estate planning documents, and has a way of getting it across so that people really understand. And so we can really get into like individual topics rather than kind of an overview that really works for the community often. So we'd be happy to do that. So please reach out to us and keep us in mind. And thank you for having us. It's been great to be able to share and be able to hopefully connect with you guys. So please save our email addresses and contact us if anything.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I definitely will be following up about some of those additional topics. And thank you both for sharing your email. You're getting a lot of thank yous in the chat. I will be sure to also follow up with an email sharing your email address to those who are here and maybe some of those who weren't able to make it. And again, so appreciative of you both for the work that you do and look forward to keeping in touch and staying connected.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, everyone.
Take care, everyone.